Potatoes are the name of the game once again. Welcome back everyone to the potato farm. It has been quite some time since I drove around on this beautiful farm we got here. Just a few months ago, we did a giant sell-off of our potatoes and got French fry production all ramped up and started. That involved harvesting all of our potatoes from our various fields, storing them, and then selling them at perfect peak pricing. I've used some of those gains since. You can see we still have over $1 million in our bank account, so a lot of gains left. But on my right, I have added to our little solar park, our little solar farm. There's also a little radio tower over there I had the boys put up. Get us a little bit of money month to month while these potatoes grow. Now, speaking of which, March is the month for planting these potatoes. However, all of our fields are still harvested and need to be cultivated and ripped up before we can put more taters in the ground. So with us needing to rip up these fields, I do believe it is time to unveil some secret machinery that has just been chilling out in this little barn to my left. I haven't really needed it thus far, so no reason to break it out, but hey, today is the day, man. Look at this little barn here. We have a very nice John Deere tractor in the middle, we got a sprayer over there, and we got a big, gigantic cultivator right here. People are probably very familiar with this one right here, but it is the John Deere 9470. It is a big old John Deere. I think it might actually be one of the biggest tractors they make. Now, it has a pretty big job. Today, it is going to be using this cultivator that I definitely can hook up. With it being March, the snow is finally gone, the ground is not as cold, and we can prepare this ground for planting more potatoes. Since it's March, it is the month for both cultivating and planting. Ideally, I'd like to cultivate a little sooner, but it has been a very snowy winter, man, I'll tell you that much. So with all this money in our pocket, I can tell you right now, we're definitely going to be expanding out, probably into this corner over here, and then maybe that field over there. Expand outwards from where we started here on our beautiful little farm. So I will get this big, gigantic cultivator all unloaded and get everything starting to get ripped up. So I got a farmhand starting work here, and we do have a few more tractors and cultivators to get work started, so I will probably hop on those as well. Since this is our first time kind of in the off season, aka before we're gonna plant anything, it is a great day for unveiling all this new equipment that I haven't really had to use thus far. In here we have a couple more cultivators and a plow as well. With our fields being as big as they are, we're gonna need all hands on deck as per usual. Our friend here starting to cultivate, gonna make some pretty quick progress. Even though this field is gigantic, that's a very big cultivator. It's going to be able to rip up the ground at a great efficient rate. Get our other John Deere working on this field. As I mentioned, I might get this corner bot, or at least part of it, maybe field 14, maybe field 8. The one nice part about those is they both actually are already planted with potatoes. Now ours are harvested, but theirs are actually freshly planted. So those would be really great to move into, save myself a bit of time. So we just keep driving over these tractors, getting things hooked up. I mean, we have so many fields that need to be cultivated here, so it's going to be worth it to get everybody working, because we got to plant today too, man. Probably should have gotten started a little bit earlier, but you know, it's only 23 degrees Fahrenheit out with a low of -18 tonight, so we had to let that ground get a little bit looser before we were going to do anything else. It is also the month for planting sunflower, as you can see, so we're going to be planting those as well. So as such, we need to get these cultivated for all the more sunflowers. Doing a little tractor swap. I might actually work with the plow at the same time here, and it might be time to finally expand. We need this potato operation as big as possible. We need potatoes covering the land. So while we're working here on the potato farm, it's obviously been quite a lot of time since I've been on here. Some time has passed, some new things have been installed. just at a glance, I did install precision farming, just enabled that. It's a really fun DLC that I've been using a little bit on Broke to Billionaire recently, and I just really can't even imagine farming without it at this point. So I think that's going to be one that's just going to be a staple for my Farming Simulator 22 runs. I realized I went right by where I was trying to go with this guy right here. The plow is actually behind the planter right there. We are going to need some more room for all these tools, man. So this planter is going to get some action today, and we're probably going to end up getting another planter or two. The key part of this farm is just equipment. I need a lot of it to make it so these things don't just take like 4 hours each to get any of these fields done. So we do have a nice plow here. It's not like the biggest thing in the world, so I might not use it for an entire field, but it's going to be really great for plowing some of those fields together, getting us some real big acreage. Now we do have a good substantial amount of money in my pocket. I'm gonna go ahead and put that to use today. I mentioned it earlier, but this plot right here, field 8, it does have potatoes on it already. It's gonna cost us $430,000. I think this is just a complete no-brainer. We gotta just get this bought and into the fold, so I am buying that right now. I would really like to get these as well, get these all incorporated into one big field. So it would be this corner and then these guys. In addition, I think extending out the sunflower fields a little bit is going to help quite a lot. As such, it might be time to go into a little bit of debt. It's something I haven't done too much on the potato series, but something that we might want to get around to. I'm going to need money to expand out and just get things moving, you know? So before anything else here, I actually noticed something in our productions. Obviously, we got French fries going. We got a good amount already in our storage. I haven't been too familiar with how things sell or what months they sell, but March is actually the peak for potatoes here, and you can see the town store, which obviously I've never sold to before, is well above that peak. So I should probably go get those potatoes sold, get us some money in our pockets, and start funding these expansions that I've been trying to do. On the productions, I'm going to set this to selling, so the stuff that's already in storage there will sell, but I will get down to the good old French fry shop in my truck here, load up some of those pallets and get them over to wherever the town store is. I assume it's also right there in the downtown. We got the workers working. These fields should get cultivated in a jiffy. You can see these boys out here getting things done. And just as I suspected, the town store is, imagine this, in town. Crazy concept, huh? Been some time since I drove around here in this beautiful town in Iowa, but I do remember how to get around just a little bit. So we got quite a few pallets here. Maybe should have got a trailer out here as well, but whatever. We got the bed of the pickup for a reason, man. Well, we were able to get a couple pallets, and that's a whole lot of French fries, man. 2,000 liters in the back of the truck. In fact, I don't even need to have the bed down for that. So the town store is just up the street here. Should be on the left. I have a lot of French fries there in the back, man. You can see those pallets. Look at all those delicious Tater Man original French fries. They don't call me Mr. Taters for nothing. So this should be the sell point right here, if I'm not mistaken. It is the town store. Just confirming everything. That's not the right French fries. I actually have another mod that does French fries as well, but this is what we're making right here. So the town store right here. It should do her. We'll get these sold right quick. All right, so our sold products, we made 17,000 right there just from those. We also got an environmental score reward. I don't really know what that means. I assume it's precision farming, but who knows? I'll take the extra 200 bucks though, why not? All right, we got the last of the pallets. I'll get that delivered. It's not very much per delivery, but I'm also just loading them up in the back of my truck. It's not exactly a lot of potatoes per trip, you know what I mean? We will be auto selling all those potatoes, and I think we already did, just based on how our money jumped there in the top right. Get the rest of that sold though. And looky here, sold sold products, over $1 million in French fries sold right there. And that was just from, you know, the past few months of productions. We are going to have a lot more next year. Probably leave our good old French fry shop on auto sell for now, let it clear out its stock for the day, and then get them stored up for another big sale next March. Got some more things to do back at the farm and more money to spend, baby. Might actually have prevented us from going into debt, but if you have never seen one of my videos before, you gotta know I love going in debt. I love spending money. It's one of my favorites. So on my right, these will probably be what I'm buying right here. I can get these plowed up into one big old field. We'll just run the plow right down those central sections, and we'll probably do the same on this side with that field over there. Get all these fields extended out, you know what I mean? These fields are coming along very nicely, getting cultivated. I'll get the truck back out to our good old tractor that's set up for the plowing. See, this guy's just waiting for me, waiting to get out there, rearing to go. So first things first, let's get some more land bought. Now, I talked about these. I think this just makes too much sense. I'm just gonna buy all these. I have plenty of money for it. They really aren't too expensive either. Could get a weirdly long field here. It might make a lot of sense. As well as just adding these two together probably makes a lot of sense. So let's get them bought as well. We already got a good portion of the map bought though. It's pretty exciting stuff. And while we're at it, you know what? These two fields, let's get them into the fold too. I think this will just be Sunflower Central as well as these two strips. And we'll make the main bulk of it potatoes. So yeah, welcome in. We're spending like all of our money, man. Okay, so we went from what, like 1.7 mil down to 166,000. Not good. So with those fields bought, I do believe it is plowing time. Let's get us some big old fields, baby. Now, very unfortunate thing is we got to do 2 runs back and forth here. That is all right, though. It's not that big of a deal. We'll just handle it. Get everything plowed. Get it nice and straightened out, and we're getting things started here. So it's just running this guy straight down. We don't need to go around the bend or anything. We're just combining these two fields right here. I'll have to worry about these in-betweens on this guy, but that's a problem for after we plow these together. It's nice that this field to my right doesn't need to worry about planting. Dreading how long that might take, but we'll handle it. It'll be okay. We're gonna have a lot more land to farm this year, and last year took long enough, which means we're going to be investing heavily into some more equipment. Would still be a nice little goal to cover this entire map with potatoes, but as far as the series goes, I'm pretty happy with just building up a big, gigantic potato farm and French fry industry. I don't want to have to set these like impossible goals, even though it would be pretty cool to cover everything. We'll see how things go though. I'm focusing more on just building everything up and having fun in the process. As you guys probably know, I can be kind of a masochist with these challenges, considering my other one is literally getting $1 billion in this game, which is a crazy thing to attempt, let me tell you. Near about perfect on the line there. We're digging into the field just a little bit here, but that's not too much of a problem. Once we get down to the other end, it's just gonna be connecting everything, and just like that, we got one big mega field. After this guy's connected, I'm just gonna buzz down and do the same thing with our kind of 4 corners field down there, which, hey, I gotta come up with some custom field names here once I get everything drawn. That sounds like a pretty good custom field name to me. The 4 corners. And just to finish things off, just getting this little section right there, and there we go. Our field right here was already 33 acres, and this guy right here was 35, so we more than doubled the size of this field. Now this should be a fun one, combining all of these. I'm only gonna need 1 pass on this guy, which is very, very nice. I'll try not to dig too much into that field because they already have potatoes in the ground, so don't want to waste any of those. Ooh, that was a long drive, but here we are. Oh, okay, now just the other direction, and we're good here. This one might take a couple passes, but it is considerably less short than what we just drove there. So far, you can barely see the render distance. First big field done with this guy, but since we have quite a few new fields here that aren't cultivated yet, he has more work to do. We can get planting started very shortly. I am just working on plowing these together over here, and then I think that is the next task at hand. That's my way of saying more money about to be spent, man. Been busy at work here getting all of our fields plowed together and cultivated. Taking a quick look, you can see we got a nice strip right here. We got a nice strip right here. These two are together and these four are together. Everything has been ripped up and cultivated. Now I do have two of the partial fields planted already with potatoes. I'm gonna go ahead and fill in the rest of this right here all with potatoes and then get these covered in sunflowers. So right now the only planting equipment that we have is this guy for sunflowers and that guy for potatoes. Definitely gonna get some more equipment. We have an insane amount of acreage now, so we're gonna get a couple of those at least. For the sunflowers, we're just gonna do a big old upgrade here. It is the Momentum 40 from AGCO. We're gonna get that leased out. It's a solid meaty 18K for the day, but we'll probably just end up sticking with this guy as well. And then just another one of these Lockwood 608 Air Cup planters for the potatoes. Everybody is hooked up here with their different machines. I do need to use the big double track tractor here for using the sunflower planter that we leased out. I'll get this boy juiced up with some seeds and with some fertilizer. Get him on one of the bigger sunflower fields. We also still have that small planter from last year that's hooked up with our smallest tractor right over yonder. We'll probably put him here on the left. I don't know how quickly he's going to be able to handle everything though. There is a buy point nearby for all of our fertilizer needs. I think they have seed too, but I'm going to use these seeds here at our ranch first. But yeah, getting everything seeded up here, and we'll probably just get right to planting. Actually, before anything else, I almost forgot that this guy needs to fill up with those potatoes. Our seed offload here. You got to love that. So I assume we'll probably just use all of our potatoes. I didn't leave a crazy amount of them, so unfortunately I doubt it'll fill this up all the way or anything like that, but maybe we shall see. Okay, apparently we have more than enough. We still have a good 34,000 liters of potatoes in our storage right there. So this guy can get right to planting, actually. Been excited to use this as a little like seed fill up area, so I'm happy to be doing this. Now normally I would be using the auger wagons to deliver seeds out for like mobile delivery, but I did not leave enough potatoes to do that. So any refills we're doing with these guys, it's just gonna have to be seeds, which I guess that I could still do with the auger wagons. It's just not quite as fun, you know. These guys still do need fertilizer, so I'll probably take a few runs to the fertilizer buy point here and get right to planting. Now that we got everybody all filled up and we've been working for a little bit, you can see this field right here coming along nicely with the sunflowers, making excellent progress, even though this is like the longest field known to man. This guy also planting some sunflowers, although at a much slower pace. Yeah, poor guy has his work cut out for him today, huh? Have a little delivery truck over here as well. I got a nice tanker filled with liquid fertilizer for filling things up. On top of our little fertilizer fill up here with the tanker, we also have a nice auger wagon with just the leftovers of our potatoes. Probably get these boys filled up out here. They're a little bit below half on their tanks of potatoes to put in the ground. We are planting this field as well today. That's next up on the agenda, but for now, these two boys are over here working. Little bit of a weird setup here with the small auger wagon but being pulled by a semi. Now I've never seen this before, but parts of where we plant, there's like this little green on top. I wonder if that I've heard of row washing. I wonder if that's what it is. I honestly have no idea what it is. Regardless though, getting these boys filled up with potatoes and getting the rest of this field covered. You can see we probably have a little over half of it done already. Pretty cool little site here. Both of these boys working side by side. That's just going to be a calling card of this series, man. We're going to be doing a lot more multi-tool per field field harvest sand planting sessions, seeing as how long it takes and how skinny some of our tools are. Anyway, I'll get this covered. Good time as any for a good old time lapse, man. Talk to y'all in a bit. Enjoy the planting sesh. Close to the end of a very, very long planting day. You can see this field. It definitely has a few patches here and there that aren't quite planted. One thing I have noticed about these planters is they don't seem to do so well on not flat land. They're kind of long, not super weighted down, so they have trouble reaching, like right there. It's on and lowered, but I just can't quite seem to get it down far enough. So I think it's an elevation thing. They just can't quite reach it sometimes. I think it's if one of the wheels is up, the middle doesn't quite touch down far enough. So we're gonna have a few of these little, you know, gaps here and there, but trying to cover it where I can. But you can see I'm going over it right there and it's just not making much of a difference. It's all good though. We are going to end up with a whole lot of potatoes at the end of this, so I am not too worried. I do feel once we get a couple more fields, some more tractors are going to need to happen too, especially ones on the higher horsepower end of things. So I think next step is probably that liming, which I think I'll get to tomorrow. I'll give the fields a little bit of a rest today. We'll still be able to drive on them tomorrow. So I'll get any fertilizing and liming done then. Let's get that in there. Yeah, snug as a bug in a rug, man. Good morning, farmers. It is here April, 6 a.m. Beautiful little morning. I was just taking a look at our little rows of potatoes over here. Like to get out into the fields, take a look around, see how things are growing. So I am seeing the pH value isn't looking great on these, but the nitrogen's looking near about perfect. So I am going to get that taken care of today. I do have a nice lime and fertilizer spreader in mind to take care of these fields. It is self-propelled, so I don't even need to worry about using it with a tractor, which is very, very nice. It is this guy right here. It is the Trident, the Case Trident It's kind of a weird looking device, but what you can do is you can put a number of things on the back. Has both a dry system and a liquid system. We're going to be sticking with the dry for now, although I really do like the look of the liquid one as well, so we might just move into that. The only issue being it can be kind of annoying to put things on the back. I am going to need to get a telehandler as well just to install everything. But other than that, looking pretty good. We're just going to get this all set up here. As I mentioned, it does have a liquid system and a dry system. We're going to be using the dry system. It obviously handles the lime, whereas the liquid is nice because it has herbicide and liquid fertilizer. You do need a couple of tools just to install it. So got a little tool here, a lifting tool, and then the dry box itself. Also just a little telehandler here. You can see my guy looks pretty funny in this thing. But yeah, this is all just to get it loaded on there. Now, it's easy enough to just use a super strength mod or something and just lift it on there, but I figure at least once I could do it like this. This is kind of how you just do it. You get the little like fork looking thing here, and then we're just going to attach. You can see, oh man, it is really swinging, huh? Get that raised on up. Hopefully I have enough like space here. You just want to get it all lined up here on the back. Ideally, you can get everything lined up pretty well, but I mean, that's looking pretty good to me. Now let's see. Yeah, look at that. Perfect. So it is all installed. That's how you do it with the telehandler. I think would have been helpful if I got a slightly bigger one, but hey, this all did the job pretty well. It is kind of fun using telehandlers now and again, but if I'm changing this thing out repeatedly, I don't know if I'm gonna use this kind of weird little setup. It is fun though. And oh man, look at my guy go. Whoa! I'll get this all turned in. It was literally just to install that stuff. So everything you see to the left and to the right is all field that I just planted this last month. Really stretches far. I forgot how far that stretches down into that little dip. It's a really pretty map though. I mean, look at that. Don't mind the patches in the middle of the field. We don't need to talk about that. One unfortunate thing I did notice, and it is not going to be remedied anytime soon, is our French fries have already ceased production. We burned through all our sunflower oil already. Did have a feeling that was going to happen, but we're actually working our way through the potatoes pretty quickly too. It's gonna be nice to have a big infusion of everything later this year, but I'm pretty sure the oil mill is completely out of sunflowers too, so we are not gonna be in the French fry business for a few more months at the very least. And just like that, all started. Does look like these boys definitely need the lime, and we're gonna be going through it. These are some big fields. Luckily, this has a really wide working range. That's really, really helpful for speeding this process up. Lots of linemen to do today. It's been a lot of fun getting back to the potato farm here. Great looking farm. I really do enjoy it, even if the process of farming the potatoes themselves is a little bit torturous. But yeah, I just wanted to take a quick second. Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you liked it, please hit the like button. If you aren't yet subscribed, please consider doing so. A lot more potato and a lot more Broke to Billionaire on the way, man. Thanks for watching. I hope to see you in the next one.